let's make it. So to start off on this build, I am going to sand the piece of petrified wood on the homemade disc sander, which I made in the last video. Sanding this is sort of quite weird because it's almost like sanding a rock, even though it's actually real wood. But petrified wood is actually harder than rock because it literally blunted the grit on my homemade disc sander. So I'm just using hand paper to do this. So I've got this masonry drill bit. It says it can drill into masonry, brick and concrete. It doesn't say petrified wood here, but hopefully it still works. So I'm going to put it in the chuck of my drill and then drill a hole down there. It's looking really nice, by the way. All the sanding is making it look really nice. As you can see, it is totally not drilling into the piece of petrified wood, so I ended up flipping it over and drilling it on the other side. It seemed to work. So I've worked out that this is just not working. The hole is it's just drilling into petrified wood. It's not a wise idea. I tried cutting a small little piece of wood and then drill a little hole in it and then glue that onto the top of my project, but somehow I just don't think that will work. Now I actually don't think putting a little thing like up here would be a good idea because I just don't think it would look nice. So I think I'm going to put a bit of epoxy like here and then drill a hole in the epoxy. I think I'll use like a black colour this time. It ended up actually not working either because it had nothing to stick to, and the epoxy didn't even dry properly because I added too much colour into it, and it affected the drying process. So quick update on the drilling of this. It's just drilling petrified wood. I would not recommend it. Even with a masonry bit, it's just takes forever. And guess what? The masonry bit snapped, and it snapped and pulled a chunk of petrified wood with it. Luckily I found the piece of petrified wood and it fits quite well in. I need some super glue to glue it back in. Drilling, I was trying to drill it a bit more and it snapped off again, and it snapped off more. So I think I'm not going to give up, but I'm a bit close to it now. I'm starting to get a bit annoyed because it keeps snapping off. But my idea is I'm going to fill this up with epoxy and then I'm going to drill a hole in the epoxy. If the epoxy comes off because it can't stick to the petrified wood, I'll glue it back on with super glue and hopefully it stays. So, let's mix up some epoxy. I have learnt my lesson from last time. Do not put too much pigment in, and I think the other reason why it didn't harden last time was because originally in the container I had a little bit of oil, so like olive oil, so I think that might have affected it. It's curing. It actually probably did because I put in quite a bit of colour in this one and it didn't seem to affect it. And this time it actually stayed on because there was some stuff for the epoxy to actually grip onto. Well, let's wait for this to dry. This is the little setup I've got. Tomorrow, that should be dry. I decided I was going to rasp it down to size, but that just seemed to take a very long time, so I then decided to cut it down to size using, well, my saw. Be doing lots of sawing. I'm going to do a tiny bit more sawing and then get back to the rasps. This is so cool, it finally worked. It looks really cool. So that's the side. I like the epoxy in it, it makes it look... I'm going to drill the hole in the epoxy up a tad. Probably put it like up there. Yeah, I'm going to be drilling into the epoxy this time, not the petrified wood. I'm just using a nail to drill it in because I don't have a proper drill bit because that sort of broke trying to drill into the petrified wood. I've got a video about how to make this, so if you haven't already, remember to check that video out. So, let's drill the hole. It is absolutely amazing how well it drills epoxy, even with a nail, but right now I'm just enlarging the hole a little bit so the string can fit through. Drill the hole, it looks wonderful. Now we just need to wet sand it. Well, it's time to pour some olive oil on this and finish off the project by putting a string in it. So, let's do those both things and I'll see you back after that. Finish off the project, I've just got some green wool. I'm obviously going to get some nicer stuff, but I would like to finish off the video, so I'm just using some green wool temporarily just to see how it looks. And I'm going to cut it about here and then thread it through here. I got it through using this and I tied a little knot on the end so it could push through. Now let's pull it through and thread it on. This is my friend, but I might as well just see how it looks. So I'll put it on at the front, which is this way. I just need to tie a knot, another time lapse. Great, it's too big for my head. I mean, it's way too small. Ugh. I like the look of it, I think it turned out really well. I tied a little knot there so it wouldn't always rest on its side. So basically I've learned, I think I'm going to be doing maybe a few more petrified wood projects. So if you haven't already, please subscribe and ring the notification button. If you would like to see more of this content, please consider smashing that thumbs up button. And next week I'll be making a chicken coop. It's going to be super cool. And we're planning on obviously getting chickens, so I'll be making a few chicken related projects. So next week I'll be making a chicken coop. Hopefully that takes me up to Bunnings tomorrow to get some wood. Bye!